Step 3 Events Your satisfaction are priority. This is a disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this show by the host do not necessarily state or reflect those of the channel. Furthermore, the views and the opinions of the guests do not reflect those of the host and the channel. Hello and welcome to Enkundleni exclusive, the one and only award-winning podcast here in Bulawayo Ntutuziyattunqa. Today, I'll be holding down the fort. We usually have Usipho Mason Tinyati holding it down for a few minutes with our prestigious guests. But today, I'll be your girl, I'll be your host with the most Umelsi Azita, Zemkondo Umangwenya. But as you all know, Enkundleni Exclusive is a podcast where we interview people, we get into their spaces, their personal spaces, we get to understand who they are as individuals, and we also get to understand who they are with their career as their career is concerned. So today in the studio with me, I've got one man. He's a young man, a media practitioner. So he joined us today. His name is Brighton. Brighton, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me this afternoon. Congratulations, guys, for this. This is nice. This is amazing. This is nice.
Thank you so much. And yes, welcome to our space. And the viewers, again, welcome to our new space. We just recently moved in, and we do hope that you will come through and as well have a tour, and experience the good feels that Brighton is experiencing. And now, before we get deep into the show, allow me to give a big shout out to our sponsors, our partners of the show, people who make the podcast to be what it is today. We've got ORG Media, we've got Okuhle Designs, and we also have Ncube and the same boat. So, Brighton, let's get deep into it. Maybe first, before we dive through into the nitty-gritties, how does it feel to be seated on that other side of the table?
So it's a difficult thing for me because every day on the short side, I ask questions. Mm-hmm. But today it's difficult because I'm getting to be asking questions, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, it's quite a weight and awkward. Yeah, it's quite awkward for me.
I know. I've been there before. So now, who is Brighton? Maybe if you can tell us your name, your surname, as well as your moniker.
My name is Brighton Ncube. People call me Beafactor. They call me Beafactor. If you say Beafactor, people think this guy loves alcohol, right? It's Beafactor.
Okay.
Brighton Beafactor.
Beafactor.
Beafactor from B Brighton.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the factor.
The factor.
Ah.
Because I was a school teacher.
Okay.
I was a school teacher where I learned. I became a school teacher there as well.
Interesting.
So people used to call me B, like, okay, factor.
Ah.
And then there was Beafactor, and then
Nice.
I used the name Beafactor.
Because when I was doing research on you, I'm like, Beafactor, so beef? This guy is always beefing with people.
Exactly. So there's this issue of beef. People call me beef sometimes.
Yeah.
And some call me beer.
Uh-huh.
So there's this confusion about that, but it's Beafactor, not Beafactor or beef.
All right.
Yeah.
So you being the Beafactor, being the media practitioner, who is he in the media practitioner world or cubicle?
I work with Cite every morning from 8:30 to 9:30. Mm-hmm. I do the morning show on Twitter Spaces, right? And also do the Breakfast Club on Cite as well, from every day at 9 a.m. So that's me, Brighton, at Cite, as well as this Twitter person, always tweets about politics,
Okay,
whatever.
so it's safe to say that you're a journalist.
I'm a journalist.
Okay, so which one? Because we are different. I'm an arts journalist. I would never even for a day dive into the political sphere. So what type of a journalist are you?
I love politics. I love analysis of politics. Mm-hmm. I love to tap into how people think about the lives or our life, for example.
Absolutely.
I can say elections.
Yeah.
I love to hear what people think about us, the electorate. So for me, I love politics.
Wow, it's going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. I love this. So, and now, what made you jump into the journalism spectrum?
Growing up at home, every day my father used to send me to buy newspapers. Mm-hmm. So I would go and buy newspapers, come back with them. I would take my pen, scroll over every big word that I'm finding, the big word. I go over the dictionary, looking for the meaning of the big word. Uh-huh. So I wanted to tell the story, not to hear the story.
Oh, right.
So all of my life, I wanted to tell the stories, not just to hear the stories. I didn't want to buy newspapers anymore. I wanted to tell the story through my voice.
To be the one who's telling the story.
Yes.
Amazing. So now, before we come to Brighton, the teacher and every other person, we'll come back to the other parts of you. how does it happen that you go to the States? Maybe if you can walk us through your quest or your journey to the States. And now, also, when you are answering, I would love for you to intertwine with this question. When you went to the States, was it before or after Utata passes on? Because I understand, if I'm correct, Utata passed on.
I went to the US after he had passed on.
Okay.
So you never saw me going to the US. You never saw me, my dream coming through. You never saw me going to the CNN building in New York City and so on. For me, I did journalism just to honor him. But today, he never saw what I wanted to do and never saw today what I have achieved. So for me today, I told the story because of him. I tried to honor his legacy. So for the journey for the years, I happened to apply for some USA fellowship, and I made it. You know, Melissa, when you get an email to say, "Bra, you have qualified to go to the US," and you have no one to share with that message.
Yeah.
Your father's not there to see you in that happy stage, you see. So for me, it was quite a big step for my career. I went there to the US for 9 months. I was focusing on issues of journalism. I was writing for a US magazine there. I went to different newsrooms in the US to learn and see how they do their things there. And I came back to Bulawayo, my home area.
Wow. So how does it feel? I understand you know, I get it. But I really want to know how does it feel now that you have won so much? You know, this is what you've always wanted, but Utata is not in the picture.
For me, it's not. Yes, at times it's sad would you achieve some things and there's no one to celebrate that with you. But for me, it's a big step to say, whatever I do, I try to honor him.
Okay.
You know, sometimes as young people, we do things,
Yeah.
but I try to walk straight and try to honor him. Whatever I do, you will be proud if you have a tall corner. So that's my life.
And where is mom in this
Mom is around.
picture?
Mom is around, but the biggest person in my career and in my life has been Ndebele.
Okay.
He really wanted me to do this thing. You know, you'll sit down with me, talk about politics. You know, someone who can buy newspaper for you, buy this newspaper for you. You want this, you buy this for you. But it's never there now to see the fruits of what he planted.
Yeah.
So for me, that's
So will it be correct for me to say, I think your journalistic approach is more based on your upbringing as a child?
yeah. Growing up, I love telling stories. People sit down, listen to me telling stories. So I think for me, growing up, I wanted to tell a story, and today I'm still telling the story. So I'm proud of
Lovely.
the young person that I have gone to become. Yeah.
So what is your typical day like in your household as a boy?
For me, I stay alone, right? So for my everyday, my morning is like I wake up and go to Cite for my morning shows.
No. Like before? As a young boy who's just growing up, like Boma, your early grades, your mid grades at primary school, and maybe getting into your early days at high school. How is your
We
day
never
like?
played outside. I never played outside.
Oh, wow. You are such
I
a
was
me.
that room divider. I never played outside. So I would watch TV. I find myself watching news.
Wow, yes.
At a tender age. So that thing grew with me to say, let me keep on watching news. Even now, I find myself watching news
Watching the
random
news.
at home, alone. So the love for news for me, I think it was an inborn thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, so now how does the Beafactor teacher screw up?
You know, during our time in school, I think now says about that. During our time in school, there was the issue of
How old are you?
Wait. So if after Form 6, there was the issue of TP. Remember?
Yes.
After Form 6, you go doing TP. That's my story. After Form 6, you go and do TP. You teach kids, and then after that, you go to university. That was my story. That gap year there, where you go back and teach, give back to the community. Obviously, you'll be earning a salary, but giving back to the community. That's my story there. I became a teacher. Most of my students that I've taught now, most of them, they are grown-ups. I will tell you off air after we're done. One of the students that I've taught, one of the most respectable person that I've taught, is a chief right now.
Okay.
Yeah, in Ndebele. I taught him when I was doing that TP that time. So that's how old I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who was the Minister of Finance by the time you were doing your TP?
During my time, was it Herbert Morera?
Ha!
Yeah, Herbert
And you
Morera.
were fresh from high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, my guy, you're a living ancestor, a walking ancestor.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So now you being a teacher, are you not drawn to going back there now that you are a full throttle journalist?
I think also, Melissa, what I can say to you is at times we do some jobs not because we love them, but it's our own way to our dream job. Right. I think I was doing TP because I wanted money as well as number one. Number two, I wanted a platform to grow, but my dream was journalism.
Okay.
So at times you do some jobs because you want to grow and you want money. You want to, it's a ladder to where you want to go. I think I'm not going back to teaching. I think I've done my part.
Yeah.
My part is now to tell the story.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, how was your experience? Like I said, I think off air, I told you this is going to be one hell of a relaxed conversation where we're going to be going back and forth, back and forth. How was it practicing your journalism in the States as compared to practicing your journalism in Africa, specifically in Zimbabwe?
I think also what I was doing there, I was in university, right? But going to different newsrooms.
Yes.
What I found there quite interesting was that their journalism is more practical.
Okay.
Ours in Zimbabwe is more theoretical.
Yes.
So you go to NAST, you go to ZO, you go to any university, right? There are more theories.
Yeah.
But in the US, they're more practical. You go
You
to a
don't say.
studio, you see a mic, you go to a newsroom, you see everything, how newspaper is done, you see production and so on.
Yes.
But in Zimbabwe, yeah, you only see a mic on TV if it's a student.
Yeah.
But now I'm glad there's the new campus radios and so on and so on. We can now practice while on campus.
Yes.
So in the US, they are more practical. Here in Zimbabwe, we are more theoretical. You're giving to us too much theories, your scrums, whatever theories. But
There's
there's
just
zero
too much.
practicality. Yeah.
A lot goes on.
Yeah.
All right, now, so going to we're still discussing the newsroom, that
Yeah.
space. How is your journey with Cite? And how are you finding, maybe if you can take us through your morning space, your breakfast show space.
Do you know how I joined Cite? It was quite funny, you know. It's when I was doing my Form 6, I used to run away from school and go to Real Dialogue. Do you know Real Dialogue?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it was by Pioneer House, right?
Yes.
I would run away from school and go to Real Dialogue. So they used to have this, what you call youth press bureau.
Yes.
Zenzele was there as well, under Real Dialogue, you know.
Yes.
I used to go there, learn about radio, learn about TV, learn about script writing and so on. Then I would leave, go back to school, boarding school.
All right. Which
Right.
school is this?
I can't mention the name of the school.
Okay.
So I would run away from school, come to town, do radio lessons and so on, and go back to school. Right? So I used to do this for a year or so. So then the dialogue went and then it closed and then there was Cite now.
Yeah.
So this other day there was a workshop at Cite. Someone said to me, let's go to Cite. I'm like, what's that? Let's go to Cite. And Cite, I want to show you something. Then I go there and then I meet Zenzele again. You
Yeah.
see? And then we talk. The following day, I go back to Cite again. He says, no, I'm going to be a producer for this show, anything musical. Which is focusing on promoting artists and so on.
Yeah.
So as a producer of that show, there's a guy who was presenter of that show. Two episodes later on, the guy didn't come up, didn't pitch.
Okay.
And I took over as a presenter.
All right.
From that day, I'm still at Cite.
You're still at Cite.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now, how do you handle the? You know, there is this thing with political minds, political heads rather.
Yeah.
Those guys are diplomatic. Those guys they're everything gloomy. If you ask me, how do you handle the interviews? How do you keep it within and make sure that at the end of the day, your show is exactly what it should be?
I think what makes me relate to my guests every day is what we're doing before the show, where I try to get to know you. Besides cameras are off. I want to get to know Melissa.
Yeah.
When there are no cameras. For me, that makes me relax and makes the guests also relax. So, okay, this person is human. They're human. They're MP, but they are human.
Yeah.
So if you tap into their human side of it, you can make the connection with your guest and it flows like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So who is, if you were to pick one political head that you really had the time of your life interviewing, who would it be?
I've done many interviews. I think I've done Hopewell, I've done David Coltart, I've done Kosana Moyo.
Yeah.
I've done I think I've done many interviews, but for me, the one interview that stuck in my mind was one blind gentleman called Ndebele Siswela.
Okay.
For me, Ndebele Siswela Gaboni, right? So he says to me, I've written many books, but I haven't published those books.
All right.
But I wish to publish those books. Okay, cool. I interview him, I ask him, how do then you write these books? He says to me, I know the keypad of the laptop by heart.
Wow.
I know the keypad of the
You
laptop
don't
by
say.
heart. Yeah. You can check
Literally.
you can check the interview on site. Says to me, I know on my left there's Q, up to the right there's these letters. On the bottom there's this up to that. But he knows the keypad by heart. He has 5 books, I think, 5 books unpublished. He types them on his laptop, but he's never seen a keypad, but he knows it by heart.
Jeez.
For me, it was one quite touching interview that I did. And you ask him, how do you maneuver in the CPD? He'll tell you, I know from First Avenue up to 15. He can walk on his own.
Wow.
He's now a counselor for Triple C. I think it's Lupane. Yeah. So for me, it was one quite touching interview that I've done.
You've dropped quite a number of names. How long have you been in the industry, actively in the industry?
I think for more than 5 years now. Yeah.
So it's now safe to
I was
say
there
when you
since
say
2017, the
gurus.
coup, up to now. I think now, yeah.
How did you feel about the coup, though, now that you mentioned the feeling then?
You know, in Zimbabwe, we grew up knowing that Ncube was only president we knew,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So I think we got overexcited because we
little
wanted a
over.
change of the face,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So everyone was in the streets. People can say, no, I didn't go, but in their hearts, they were in the streets.
We were rejoicing.
Yes, they wanted a new face, but you know what happened, and then we are here today.
Wow.
Wopel is a good guy, you know.
Underground gang just posed the question.
He's a good guy. You know, when you find such people in the industry, you know, such resourceful people in the industry, there are many people that I look up to in the industry. Zenzele and Ndebele, they're so
I was
sharp.
about to ask Ukuthi, which other figures do you look up to in the industry?
For me, Zenzele and Ndebele, that's one guy that I've known for years, and the guy works hard. You know, when he speaks, sometimes doesn't have a notebook, nothing, but he speaks facts. He tells you dates of this thing happened in 1990, so and so. He's well researched. For me, he's one guy who works hard that I look up to in the industry. That my career, I would have never been here or went to the States without him in my life. Yeah.
Nice. So now I want us to take it down to a lighter note a bit. What for between music and movies? The reason why I'm asking this fun fact is because a lot of people think Ukuthi, as journalists, we're all about reading, we're all about being serious and everything. But now, talking to you in person, you are here, Matupa. What would you pick? Do you do movies? Do you do music?
I think for me, movies. Last time I went to a Stay Kineko movie house, I slept, I think, 5 minutes into the movie. So for me, I suck in terms of movies. I always hear people say, this series. For me, I don't like movies. I don't know anything about what to call this, Game of Thrones. I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
So for me, I think music,
Right.
I do like anything with sound, good sound.
Okay.
So that's why I was doing a show called Anything Musical, focusing on Obola artists. So I love music. I love art in particular. Obola.
All right.
Yeah.
So now, if you say you've done shows as well, your milestones, what, maybe if you can give us 3, 5 things that you've saying, or even one, something that you say, this here was my milestone, maybe this is to keep it the States, because I mean the States, we all know it was a big dream come true for you. But after that, what then came that you said, okay, here I have scorned, this is a treasure, this is my treasure of milestones?
I think coming back to Cite again, having a morning show daily, where you speak about politics every day, current affairs. You know, sometimes people think, for me, I can tell this, Uti, people think when they see on Twitter, my tweets and so on, or when they hear my voice, and when they see me physically, like, bruh, these are two people.
Trust me, when I see whatever your views on Twitter, I'm like, salong bandom
People think I'm older, like way older. Yes, I'm older, but I'm not way older.
You're not way older.
Yeah, but my thoughts on Twitter, they seem to be like of this old man, but I'm not older.
So you're just a young heart with an old soul.
Exactly. I'm a war veteran, actually. So it's like liking the news, right? And tapping into the old people's, what they like to do and so on and so on. So if I don't relate with my peers most of the time, I can go out with you, and if you can't relate to my politics stories, I get bored.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do in your spare time?
Spare time, soccer, PF, go to somewhere and drink wise waters, listen to music. That's me.
Are you taken?
I think I'm taken for granted. Anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. That's all right. So right now, let's just quickly shift to that. What will be, because you love music, what will be the perfect theme song of your life currently?
Currently, I love old school music. Your Glenn Jones, your Alexander O'Neill.
Wow.
Your Teddy Pendergrass.
He's got quite a touch.
So I love those old classic music. Your Alexander O'Neill, let's say, Teddy Pendergrass. They are good old soul music on a Sunday.
Smooth. Yeah. Sunday when you listen to your jazz, you're good, you flow. Amazing. Now, I think you're the perfect candidate for me to ask this question because a lot of people do not understand the whole aspect or spectre of AI.
Yeah.
As a journalist who is actively in the field, what do you think are some of what do you see our future as journalists with AI involved?
I think the future of, funny enough, today on the show, we're talking about misinformation and disinformation around age of AI. So we're joined by our Sean, technical director their side, speaking about that AI. So I think the future is AI in Africa, but as Africans, we're not embracing it fully. On sidelines of Cite, I'm running my own startup organization focused on women that's pushing on telling stories using AI in the rural areas. So for me, I think AI is the future. But however, people are now spreading fake news using AI. But that is the future. Remember also with AI, it's not about just artificial intelligence, but there's a voice and a human behind AI. So I can feed information to the AI. AI then reports to you. So there's a human aspect of it behind AI.
Yeah, because I remember there was an upheaval when Cite brought in Alice.
Yes.
Everyone was like, but this is literally a doll.
Yeah.
But now I love it when you're bringing it to us, when you're bringing some bright insights to say.
So there won't be, there's the issue to say, one day you won't have jobs, you won't be a presenter, there's going to be an AI. No. Behind AI, there's a human being. So you always be there yourself as a presenter, but co-hosting perhaps with an AI.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's human part of it. Yeah.
Interesting. I love it. You mentioned as you were talking, I'm a very attentive listener. You talked about something that you do aside, apart from Cite.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can walk us through that project.
So the Women's Commune, I co-founded it with Nncube, one of my co-director. So we're focusing on telling the story of women in the rural areas. Melissa, emakhaya kakhulu, young girls drop out from school because of lack of finances or early marriages. Bahle bahlale endlini bangasahambi esikolo. An issue of information, abasala information, abasahambe bevota, abakwazi abasahambe emhlanganweni. So with this organization, we're trying to give them information for them to continue being up to date with information happening in elections, things happening even in parliament. So what I've done in the past 2 months, I've gone emakhaya and at a screen of the parliament proceedings.
Okay.
I bring a big screen and projector kind of, and then tune parliament proceedings when this parliament in Harare. People can watch what's happening in parliament, but emakhaya.
All right.
Yeah.
So they are also within
Up to date.
Okay.
Exactly. Because emakhaya sometimes when there's no network, Melissa, where would vele ibhasi ihamba ka-1 ngeviki, behambe ka-1 ekuseni.
So it's safe to say, is it safe to say rather, ukuthi some of these in these constituencies, as emakhaya, people just vote, but they do not have information. They do not know who they are voting to.
Yeah, sometimes people don't know whom they are
rather.
voting for. They only go to the ballot paper and cast their vote.
Wow.
Because of in our politics, it's about ZANU-PF, Triple C then, or MTC then. ZANU-PF or ZAPU, ZANU-PF or MTC, ZANU-PF or Triple C.
I love this that you do. Do you think now, randomly, do you think in Zimbabwe we've got a strong opposition?
I think when it comes to the strength of the opposition, it's debatable because every opposition party thinks they are strong.
All right, yeah.
But in my own view, I think ZANU-PF has been in power since 1980. But there's no opposition party that has really shaken ZANU-PF. So Tsvangirai tried to do that. But the issues of infiltration within the opposition party, you see, Triple C, MTC was infiltrated, was MTC Alliance broke up again, was Triple C again, now MTC fragmented again, now something new is coming again. It's going to be the same story, some script. So there's no strong opposition party in Zimbabwe, according to me.
Absolutely, I get you. So now, what is your perspective with regards to the recent upheaval of Eka Chamisa and Uchabangu?
So that's a tricky one because Uchabangu, his story was like we want to remove issues of impositions. For example, Chamisa imposed candidates in Ndebele want to replace them with people from Ndebele, right? But he kept on also bringing other people not from Ndebele and Uchabangu. So for me, that's quite disturbing. But I don't know.
There's no stability there. It's like it's just a sponge, water.
Exactly. So that's the very tricky issue. The MTC Alliance, then Triple C coming into play again. So for me, it's quite confusing. I'm sure Kokemakhaya, they're so confused. What's happening now? There was MTC Alliance. It broke up. Now there's Triple C. Chamisa is now resigning from his own party. It's quite confusing. That's my politics for us.
It is, because
Yeah.
I'm asking myself, as neutral again, as a neutral standing,
Yeah.
I'm like, if you can, uyakhe umuzi,
Yes.
uqine, usuqinile umuzi, and then you decide to thatha ibhashi uphume uhambe. It did not make sense to
But
me.
again, the issue of structures was the main concern there. But if we had known, Triple C, there's Brighton, the SG, there's so and so, the treasurer, there's so and so, the chairman. No one is going to come and claim to be the interim when
All right.
you knew so and so is the SG. So I think there's an issue there from Chamisa, failure to come up with proper, clear structures for us to know so and so is this party. I think that's what was a big problem, a mistake from his end.
I love it. So now is Beafactor involved in the grassroots political level or district level of the country?
I've never been into politics.
Okay.
Just tell the story of politicians or interview politicians. I've never been into politics, but I will never again join politics because it's quite animal farm. It's a chaos. It's a chaos in terms of politics.
All right.
Anyone can dream. You know, I don't like to be a follower. If I can use that, I don't like to be a follower or to be dictated what to do. I think even if I join politics today, I'll be expelled the following day because I'm not like not easy to follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that gets me thinking, Ogutim, your political upbringing, was it just the love of politics within the household, or you were raised by politicians?
My father was a political animal. You will talk politics with him the entire day.
Wow.
You listen to the news the entire day.
Interesting.
You wouldn't get tired of news, you know. I remember in time of his passing, it was 2018. Remember late at night waiting for the election results. Last one, where you're waiting for the last Chikumba, waiting for Chikumba around midnight. He was sick then, but he was up waiting for the election results. For me, I could see this guy is sick, but he wants to see what's happening in terms of politics. But he always telling me to say, brah, whatever you do, don't believe politicians. Because they always lie to you.
It's a dirty game, right?
They always lie to you. Means I'm going to build 5 balls here, but they won't deliver anything. So they always lie to you. They want your vote. When they get your vote, they won't see them again. That's politicians for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we take it to the underground gang.
Space politics, because most of the time is spaces safe when this being spaces up ama 2000 I want to go involved in politics, but yet window ebamba impilo zethu window oyibona njani ongafisa ukuyitshintsha njani entsheni ngoba wena ukhanya active ku politics kakhulu angazi ngokubuza umbuzo.
I think times you go to church and people say, no, you must not be involved in politics. You know, everything is politics. For you to be here is politics,
Yeah.
right? For me to be here today, to cut Ncube, it's politics. I paid money, there's tax involved today, it's politics. So everything in Zimbabwe, everything in life, there's politics involved, right? So young people say, I know I don't want to be involved, I'm getting down, but it affects you one way or the other. You go home now, there's no what. Why there's politics there. I'm going to get a work 24 hours, there's no power there. What's happening there? There's politics involved.
Yeah.
Someone in high authority is going to find a solution to something to that. So everything is involved around politics. So last year when we were casting our votes, few young people went to cast their votes, saying, no, but it's your future as well being at play here.
Yeah.
So everything is about politics. It's about you and me taking up the spear and carrying on forward. Remember, I can also say to you, Tabengo and Masuku, look at Masuku, they were young when they went to the war. They were very young when they went to the war. They never said, no, they were
concerned about
they wanted to liberate Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
But today, take a 14-year-old, politics, like, what's that? What's this? They know all brands of alcohol, but they don't know the struggling, how the importance of voting. So you see the different priorities now, different generations. Yes, we may say we are different in terms of age groups, but when Tabengo was young, he went to the war. When Masuku was young, he went to the war. Joyce Mchuru was the youngest minister in 1980. I think he was 18 or 21, Joyce Mchuru. But today, take a 21-year-old, think of, okay, this week, this week, those things. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm saying our priorities sometimes are misplaced. Yeah.
So it takes us at the end of the day to go out and make sure that we try and make them rethink and make them set other priorities. So now, is it safe to say that the country at the current state maybe is ailing Is it the structures or it's the president?
I think for me, it's about the structures. Because Melissa, I can tell you, we always blame ZANU-PF in everything. But some basic things that not done is not ZANU-PF. Basic stuff that Lama can play my part, my role. For example, I can tell you there was the cleanup campaign in Bulawayo by called out the mayor of Bulawayo. So if I do to move this school, pick it up, forget BIM. Don't want to play your part. ZANU-PF is wrong. Yes, they are wrong as well. But there's some things that don't do ZANU-PF. So I think it's a societal problem. It goes back to society. You see, so you can blame ZANU-PF, you can blame so and so, but also me and you can be blamed as well.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
there is something that we can do to
Yes.
make the Bulawayo, Zimbabwe a better place. Wow, interesting. So now, if you were to get out of your journalism spectrum and the other projects that you are doing, what would you rather be doing?
I think farming is the way to go. Farming. I feel at 50 years I should be done with these journalism things and doing my farming.
Retired.
Yeah, waking up in the smell of manure, opening his spice and goat. That's where the money is. Farming. Remember, Joshua Mkomo said, "Malifune mali lima." That's where the money is. So after 50 years for me, I don't see myself doing journalism. If you see me doing journalism, I clap me again, palm.
Wow, how many are we in the family? How many are you?
Yeah, there are 3 boys, 3 girls. I'm the 5th one. Yeah.
Okay, so who's the eldest? The brother? Is it a
No, there
boy
are
or
3
girl?
girls.
Okay.
3 girls and then
all
last
right.
3 boys. Yeah.
How does it feel to be in I think it's a one.
Everyone. Okay.
How does it feel?
It feels good. Christmas time, family time. It feels good, but there's always been that one favorite. But it feels good to be part of a big family. You can go and cry, go, I want this, I want that. They provide for you. They can come to you as well. It feels good to have our siblings, but there always be that one. Who's the favorite? The blue-eyed one. But anyway, I happen not to be one, but I'm accused of being one. But anyway, it's nice to have a big family.
Oh my God, do we have any questions maybe from the underground gang?
So abantu bayayenda sizine trying ama-elections politics obayayenda uyibona.
I think we need a new overall new systems there. As I was saying to you, at times we blame ZANU-PF, but this one doesn't involve ZANU-PF. It's about us failing to put proper systems. You can't tell me the entire year, for last year, there was $80 made from the flea market and 50 via the car wash. You can't tell me that it's a proper organization. And $8,000 vanished. No one knows where it went
Just
to.
vanished like
It vanished. Right.
Wow.
You can't tell me there are old people who are running the club who want the future for Islanders. I doubt they have the future for Islanders. The future is young, Melis. The future is young. You can't tell me who I ran for chairman of Islanders. Ngawina, I push term yami. I want to run again. What about the young people?
Yeah.
There's what we call generation jealousy. Generation jealousy.
Okay.
Ukuthi Melissa right now, lapho vela khona elokishini. There's a woman that just hates you for no reason because she sees herself in I could be.
The same zeal that she
It
has.
happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Politics like that. CSO is like that.
Yeah.
Journalism is like that. There's someone who but he might be bigger than me. But I'm zoned for no reason. It's there in Bulawayo as well.
Yeah.
But I want to delve deeper into that.
It's all, maybe.
Do you know what, Melissa? When it comes to arts as well, there's jealous in terms of artists. Deb3 have a podcast. I want to do a podcast. Why can't I support Deb3? No, I want to be competitive. I can't include Melissa. I want to do it as well. But no. Let's support each other. Right?
Yeah.
But you want to compete in a small space, in the same audience, in the same market. You want to compete. Why can't I put my resources towards this and support this?
I love it. Now it brings me to a question, to a thought rather, a school of thought. In most of these things, to eradicate some of these problems, you need to take a risk as a person, as an individual, as an organization. Now, going back to Beafactor, what is that one risk that you have taken to get a story?
One risk that I've taken to get a story. For me, When I always tell people that I was once arrested, they say, "Ah, ulamang, ulamang." One day, so on a Sunday, during this flag movement, I was doing some documentary. You know, when you in the industry,
You still have fire
you want to,
within
you know,
you. Yes.
I'm busy with my phone on a Sunday taking flags in Bulawa, you know, fix that tab, phone yam. It's other comrade says, comrade, what are you doing?
Oh,
And
no.
and I'm doing a documentary around this. What? No. Comrade Wasungwa.
Holy moly.
So for me, that was one thing that I've done. That is, when I reflected to it now, I didn't know many things about. You know, for you to do that, you're supposed to have a ZMC card,
Yes.
a press card, and so on and so on. But I was doing it not knowing all these things. Right? For me, it opened my mind to say, getting information sometimes is very important. So also asking for advice from other people. I want to do this. How do I go about
best
it?
do I go about it?
For me, that's the one risky thing that I've done. And I regret doing it, but I don't regret because I've learned lessons from that.
To get to the cells.
And ngaphelela reception. But I was arrested.
Can we ask why a pelela a reception? Now, it tallies down to the grapples that we face as journalists. What are some of the other grapples that you faced as a journalist that you feel like they are hindering you to be a full throttle journalist?
I think the environment that we're working in Zimbabwe is not the same as, because once we become exposed to other countries, we come back home and like, but this is not what's done that side. Different environments that I think hinder our growth, and also support from our own people. You know, I got my own first celebration or award, not in Zimbabwe, not in Bulawayo, but I was born here. So I was celebrated first out of Bulawayo. That's the problem with what we face ourselves in the industry. You get accolades out of Bulawayo. You can mention many guys who are excelling out of Bulawayo, but here at home, no one appreciates you.
That's
But when you come back home,
I always say the same
thing.
I always say the same thing. It's funny how I have been active in the industry, and most of the interviews that I've gotten, they are from Harare or Kweru.
Yes.
It's people that are Harare in Kweru, and they are just watching me from the terraces.
Yeah.
But we have people around Bulawayo who are doing what the Harare, Bulawayo, the Kweru guys are doing, but they cannot just give you a simple interview, just to give you an accolade to say, hey, you're doing a great job. So it's really sad. I think it's something that we need to probably revise and look into as a city. So now, what is how best? What are some of the habits that Beafactor does that make him a strong journalist, like your daily habits that you think, but I think this really makes me the best person in my field?
I think people always ask me on Twitter, why do you have a following on Twitter? I used following on Twitter. I think now I'm 21.2K followers on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
And they ask you, why you have so much followers? I think for me,
Amazing.
I stuck to home. For me, proximity is what my content revolves around. I can't talk about sewage in Harare when I'm coming from Cowdraypark. So I talk about my sewer in Cowdraypark. My stories to relate to where I'm coming from. So if I post about Bulawayo, I know I could get more traction in terms of that, what I'm posting about. But if I post about Harare, so for me, I think what works for me is proximity, push where you're coming from. If you're coming from Plumtree, type your tweets in Kalanga. People who conform to that Kalanga tweets and they will follow and they want to learn those Kalanga tweets. So for me, I've left Cowdraypark, by the way. So I used to push Cowdraypark. Then till someone asked, "What Cowdraypark?" You know, Fatima came to Cowdraypark. She came to Cowdraypark with a tour in Cowdraypark with Fatima. Before it was 2018, before these elections.
Yes.
For me to see someone coming all the way from Harare to see where I come from, it's a big story. And also when I was in the US, my friends came to Cowdraypark as well to see where I come from, Cowdraypark. For me, it's a good story to say, doesn't matter where you come from. It's about sometimes telling the story of where you come from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, mentioning Fatima Hera, how do you feel about her recent move from the Yellow Waters?
I think that's one of the most women and leaders we have integrity. One after Nkosana. Nkosana Moyo was the first minister to resign under Ncube. So Fatima Hera becomes the first MP to resign. Shows integrity. Shows that we still have women and men of integrity amongst us that do not want to eat, but they believe in the cause of the people and they put the interest of at heart than money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. It draws me to a point where I get to think, ukuthi, in such scenarios, people, there's a certain part that does not agree or concur with your decisions. Now, B factor, have you ever been at a point where you release an article and you get a backlash?
I always get backlash. I remember the time, do you know these things that happens on Twitter? When you say anonymous, what do you call this? Anonymous posts.
Actually, what do you
When
call
someone
those? He's
posts
big on
anonymous,
he's big on X.
When someone posts like a link to say post something anonymous, tell me your secret.
Okay.
That thing.
Yeah.
So someone said Brighton Beafactor, what I should say it. Brighton Beafactor, I have a crush on you on those Twitter secret thing. Huh? I responded.
Okay.
And I said, I speak better English than you, so I can't be your crush. Yo, I got backlash, comrades. The Bulawayo feminists, they came, bruh.
The radical feminists.
They came with their responses, bruh. I was
Guns
cancelled.
blazing.
It was the first week when I went to the US. I was cancelled, bruh, on Twitter that week. So for me, that's one of the stories that something that I've responded to. But now I don't respond to these things. I don't respond. No matter how funny things are, I just pass. Because I know sometimes people, they have their own agendas they want to push in terms of your response.
Absolutely.
Someone is waiting for you
to say something. Just miss a step and then
respond,
they're on to you. They
so
pound.
the issue is don't respond to some of these things. It's communication as well. Don't respond. Just let it go. Let it pass.
Wow.
So when the feel practically to go into show artist who art because I've seen you posting various pushing shows that who promote
the art space.
When how best can we improve or spaces how best can we improve the spaces because they've seen shows are successful popular shows are way to asakula amancane awuthi ukukhangelisa ukhangela ama-artists akhona amakhulu lalawa asengane sephumelele how best can we improve ispace njengomuntu ovele osespacini sama-art.
I think one of the biggest things is collaborations. I think we should collaborate sometimes. If I have a podcast, why not collaborate with another podcast? So you find Gobula, we have sometimes 3 events or 4 events in one day.
Yeah.
Same city arch. So ask yourself, who is the audience? I know the different audiences, but it's a small city. One event, say, like theater, one say gallery, same day, same city. Then ask yourself, where should I go? I love things. I'll go 2 hours there and go 2 hours there. But we won't afford to do that. So how best can you do that? Collaborate. Or come up with the calendars. Now January, February, tomorrow. Just in January, right? All promoters must come together. Guys, okay, now to do this in February. Oh, clear date. Now to do this in this. Clear. So we can support the first one, support the other one. But to find out tomorrow is event today, tomorrow, same concept. Same audience, we get tired as well as the audiences. So people should come together and plan for the entire 6 months or 3 months. I want to do this in February or March, I want to do this. And we can support each other like that. Or release posters early foot. Sometimes you see a poster like Saturday. How would you expect me to plan and come to event on Saturday today?
Like you should like a sense of planning way ahead. All right. Now I see your response is mainly for the promoters.
Yeah.
To the artists that you leave home for. I mean, when you leave home, you're going for a show, you're going to watch your artist. As a spectator, as a fan, what do you think, where do you think they should improve as AMA artists? Because I think that in as much as they sing different genres, they all have a certain point where they miss it. And you as an audience will feel like, man, what's up?
I think sometimes artists, who's part of the artist, Melissa, is very important.
Yeah.
I'm a journalist. You can go to my tweets right now. You can see the layout of my bio, how I tweet, style of some sort. There's a brand in it. But as the artist, sometimes you don't see that. Right? There's a career here.
Wow.
So the issue of having a team that works with you, communication is a team, your manager, someone who tweets, your camera person, those things. I don't know they're expensive, but investment.
Yeah.
Put money, it will come back. right? Invest in a good phone for pictures, for example. I can't be seeing an artist posing for a picture. Can you do artist?
The background is screaming.
Dress code as well.
Clutter.
Artist no, I can't share names. Do you know what? At some point, I used to manage artists.
Yeah.
So this other guy DMs me, says, Chief, I want you to manage my page. I'm not sure, let's meet in happy. I feel this. Uchomi comes, I feel the speaker box. Speaker box. Siyakhala. Siyarira ingoma vele siyakhala. And I'm asking myself, ukuthi manje uchomi lo so I feel ingoma siyakhala lapha. I thought, Chief, but I want to work. I manage to work with. I can't work with you.
I can't.
Because vele ngokuqala brand yakho ayicaci.
Sense of presentation zero.
Only for time management, I had to wait for him. Ngiyocela meeting.
Yeah.
Time management. I was here to tell 5 minutes to 2.
Exactly. Yes, that's what I said off air.
Yeah, 5 minutes to 2. I value my time. So at times, even my events over it's total 2, 6 event. But I'm supposed to go somewhere. 2 p.m. over 6 p.m. for Bulawa. I don't know why. Every event is like that.
Wow.
Ukona Bulawa angayenza event aqala ngesikhathi akaphuma ngasethi ngilamanga.
Don't you think Dab 3 we try? I mean, I'm not being biased.
Again, you try. You promoting a drama. Uqala ngo2. Ngiyaphuza ukufika mina umbukeli. Why? Because I'm used to ukuthi vele bazaphuza.
Oh yes.
You rolling without people and drama nasime kancane babeka test songo 6. Yabona. So say that you are late as a promoter or mina late as an artist. So I can't do a show where mina angikho kula audience. Because of time management. Time management is I don't know why.
It is really hard. Right, now that's interesting. It gets me to a point where yikho phela ngifuna ukuya khona khathesi uthi wena uyangama because uyakwazi ukuthi before you respond and it's not always about name dropping because I know people probably comment and say yes any name drop it goes beyond name dropping. It's being honest and when we are honest we are building each other with honesty. So if you are to drop you know
I don't believe in dropping names but I believe this is an umbrella generalization of this we can improve this as artists right? Issue of dress code. Dress properly if you're going to pitch something to a promoter or to someone or a man. Dress properly.
Even on a daily, you know, people always say, are you an artist? I'm like, no, but that's my statement. That's what represents Umelisa,
because you never know whom you're going to meet.
Exactly.
So how you dress sometimes as an artist says a lot about you, your brand, and so on. Having a team. But I don't know anything, don't know everything as a human being. So I can focus on communications. But I don't know accounts. I can't balance books.
You can't.
I can't do a budget, but I now know how to do a budget. But because of issues of being exposed and so on. But you find strengths. One artist, a one-man band, a promoter, a commerce officer, a manager,
that's crazy.
A finance person, artist anyone. Daily quotation, a WhatsApp quotation.
Wow.
So I was serious with our craft. So no one will take us serious if we're not serious about our craft. I know I'm going to get backlash about this, but I'm being sincere and genuine.
It all goes back down to planning.
Yeah.
So Brighton has a big event, a special event, the one event that is close to your heart. Which one artist would you call to perform?
From Bulawayo?
Yes, if any.
I'll call Kosana. Not Kosana.
Yeah.
Kosana from Gaia. Yeah. I think what I love about him is this genuineness.
Authentic like that.
Obviously, it's debatable to say his music is good or bad, but I love how he is genuine about what he wants. In his first interview, Zenzele said, "Ufuna umuzi lenkomo." Now he has those things. It's now so sharp. But what I love about him is he's willing to listen. Umuntu nje okhululekileyo. I might be joking with his Kosana, but I love how he does this thing. Let him. I think Mrs. K is trying. Mrs. K is trying. There's Mrs. K, there's Mzo, there's Sandra Ndebele, Mom Councillor. She's trying. They're doing well. They're doing well in terms of their craft. You know, she's the manager. The red card. How many artists can you ask for a red card today? Only red card. Which one?
But I mean, I have, you know, I love that you bring Sandra Ndebele. I have so much respect for that woman because I feel like she understands what she wants. She knows what she wants to do with her brand, with her personally. She just understands who she is.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of us who do not understand. We just get in the field and we want to do this and that and that and that. Yeah, well,
And
even though
she has done music, she has done politics. Now she's in politics. You know, she's doing business now
she's
as
doing
well.
business, she's a
Brand
dancer.
ambassador. You know, she's venturing into different fields as one. And on the 17th of February, we're going to be roasting here. I'm the manager for Mahlekisa, by the way. If you don't know. So
lovely.
we're planning the roast of Sandra and Ndebele on the 17th of February. At Blayo.
How did you guys think of that
the roast?
yes.
No, there have been many roasts done by Mahlekisa Comedy Club.
No, I want this specifically.
the Sandra and Ndebele.
Egamande.
We wanted to do this thing last year in November. When she lost the election as a councillor, right? But there were many things happening there, couldn't secure here. And then so let's move it to February. She won an election now in December for the by-elections. So for me, I think we want to celebrate her life. She has been doing a lot of good arts. I think she's our hero, man, in terms of arts. She has been good music, she has been good business, she has been good politics. I think she's reaching a full circle now. In terms of what she wanted to achieve in life. And so I think now is the time for us to roast here. She lost election and won it in less than 2 months. Who does that?
Who does that?
So
Yes,
it's
power
befitting
of
that
a
we be
woman.
roast and Ndebele. So going to have culture, Ncube, Skonjwa, Zenzele Dube, Kuda Takundwa is going to be a part of the roast. So it's going to be an interesting one. Why are you laughing when I say Takundwa?
Why are you serious?
Why are you laughing?
Why are you serious? Why are you serious?
What's funny by the list of the names? Are they funny, those guys?
There's nothing funny, but maybe just to bring it to the people that are going to watch this, there's an advertisement, the video.
Yeah.
I think this is
Oh,
the one that
Coco.
the whole house is breaking down.
You mean
on.
Coco?
Yes, Coco. So that's why we are breaking down. So if you haven't bumped onto the advertisement for the roast, look for it. It's there in the internet spaces. You will also find yourself giggling like us. So now, back to a relaxed zone again with you. What is your typical day like? Beafactor, this grown Beafactor. What do you do when you wake up early in the morning up until sunset?
I think I love coffee, by the way. So now someone do 4 test. So I need a cup of coffee. Yeah, so I have coffee on
Guys,
5.
we are aging.
I have coffee at 5, coffee at 10, coffee at 1, and coffee at 8 p.m. In a day. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, check my Twitter. First thing, I check my Twitter. Any notifications, any new thing happening. I go through the news headlines, post whatever I'm posting on status, the news headlines, and update my audience, my followers in terms of the news, what's happening.
Lovely.
And then I go do my Twitter space extend aside. From there, I do there's a podcast now from the same space that we do. The podcast now. Every time I do the Breakfast Club recordings out of the studio, or sometimes in the studio. From there, I knock off, go and look for money elsewhere. So that's my day in a nutshell. Yeah.
So that is his day, ladies and gentlemen. That is his life in a day, rather.
Yeah.
Life in a day. Right. Maybe if we can, maybe before we wrap it up, where would you be if you are not in Zimbabwe right at this moment, like in this very, very minute? Where else would you be in the world?
Actually, there are many places that I want to travel. I think one place that for me fascinates me is Dubai. For me, the architecture, bruh. The way there's an artificial beach, you know that, in Dubai. So for me, that's where the money is made. Even so, the Gold Mafia documentary. That's where the money is made, man. So I will be there, man. That's where things are happening. But also there's the New York. So my first time stepping in New York, coming from Cowdraypark, Wulayo Child, and I was stepping in New York. The song by Alicia Keys, these tall buildings, that's where the money is made, these cracks and so on. That keep on ringing in my mind. And I will see these tall buildings. Whenever I go, tall buildings, I'm like to myself, I'm coming from Cowdraypark when but I'm here today in New York. So for me, it was quite emotional. And to see what also good they've done well in terms of development as compared to where we are in Africa. We're like in behind many things, Melissa. A train. You can't go to a train right now if you want to go to Cowdraypark. It's like old.
Wow.
But in New York, many trains are like the in thing. For me, it's quite interesting to see development being done. We can do it as well in Zimbabwe. It's possible.
Interesting. You are a ball of many things. I love the fact that you're a ball of many things. There's a lot of things that you you brought today on the show. So I think it's quite inspiring to know that even a journalist, you can also get into other spaces and be comfortable, like the entertainment spaces. I'm so happy. Maybe before we wrap it up, is there any other thing that you'd love for the world to know about you as a journalist, or just any advice to just fly by to the world?
I think I'm shy. Yeah, I'm shy. It's a funny thing. I deal with cameras every day, but I'm shy. I'm
Oh, there you
shy.
have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's deal with him being shy. Go in the comment section if you think Beafactor is shy. Go in the comment section and abasinike their justifications as why they are saying you are shy. Thank you very much for being with us today on Enkundleni exclusive, the podcast. It is our pleasure to have you. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, Toboka Kwazo. I'm Kalanga, by the way. Toboka Kwazo, Makamu. Thanks so much for watching. It's been a pleasure being here. Nice space, by the way.
Thank you. Amazing. Well, to the viewers, thank you so much for watching. I have been your host, Melissa Tintulini. You can call me Melcy. And I was holding the fort, of course, for Sipome Sentinyati. He'll be back soon with a bang. Till we meet again next time on the same channel, Depth 3 Events TV. Before I wrap it up again, like completely, a big shout out to Nicolene, ORG Media, as well as Oguhle Designs. It's been a pleasure, Kamakwini.